Hello and welcome back here to Wadi Rum. I'm here by the guest house at the entrance to the protected area. Today I'm going on a tour with Bedouin guides and we're going to be visiting all the places of interest within Wadi Rum. And for the trip you do need to have expert Bedouin guides. You can't just go in and do it all yourself. So I'm going to head on to the 4x4 now and we'll get started. So we've driven out in the Jeep to the protected area and greeted with tea on arrival here inside this warm place with a little bit of fire going before we start our tour today, seeing all the different things. Just beside where we stopped for tea here in Wadi Rum is Lawrence Spring, which of course is named after Lawrence of Arabia. His description of the springs in his book The Seven Pillars of Wisdom is what has kind of made them famous. And basically this was a waterhole for caravans traveling between Syria and Arabia. Ahead here there are some inscriptions from likely tribes of this area dating back thousands of years. So relaxing, amazing views from a bit higher up here. You can see the rock formations in the distance and the sand kicking up ahead. So now jumped off the camel and climbing up this red sand dune here, which should have good views at the top. Made it to the top of the dune, and after scrambling, which is I think a mix between climbing and hiking up a few rocks, there is an incredible view. Are you ready? Take a look. The sand is kicking up everywhere, but whoa, you can see right off into the distance what looks like a wild dog, I'm not sure, has just joined us, and maybe he belongs to one of the Bedouins, or she belongs, I can't tell if it's a male or female. But just out here in the wilderness, see the wind is chucking my camera, my gimbal. Look at that. That's how strong the wind is coming from this direction. Not too dissimilar from the Sikh at Petra, a narrow pathway leading through the valley or gorge there, and some fascinating looking trees. This canyon was used as a resting point for those coming from Saudi Arabia, stopping their caravans in a place to protect themselves from the elements. These are Nabatean inscriptions here, thousands of years old. People obviously added to these inscriptions their own identity and way of life as the years went on. It was still used as a resting point. Almost the whole of Jordan is just so embedded in history, you can't escape it wherever you go. From Amman, of course Petra, and in Wadi Rum, it's the same thing. The three places that most people visit on a tour are just packed with history. Following our lunch, which consisted of this tomato and onion dish, and we mixed it with some tuna and cheese sitting there, we have driven on to Lawrence's house. And legend has it that Lawrence of Arabia himself stayed here during a time in the Arab revolt of 1917. He helped the Arabs, became one of them, I suppose you could say, and he has brought a lot of fame to the area, the Englishman. And whether his stories are as true as he writes, we probably won't know. Whether the Arabs hold him as favourably as Westerners do is another thing as well. But there's a very famous film, Lawrence of Arabia, from the 20th century. This is where he stayed, apparently, in this very remote location, but also stunningly gorgeous. And you can see why an Englishman like himself and like me right now would fall in love with a place like this. Lawrence learned how to ride a horse and dress like an Arab, and he sort of cast himself as an advisor and soldier, living with them, and was among the 100,000 Arabs who attempted to overthrow the Ottoman Turks who controlled the region at the time in order to create a new Arab nation. And in fact, 10% of those Arabs died during the fighting. We have a flat tire and the family just heading up further that way now. They stopped to ask if we needed any help, and at the camp I was at last night, the Bedouin guide was telling me that if someone is stuck and the people passing, the Bedouins passing, don't offer to help for whatever reason, whether it's a flat tire or stuck in the sand, it's a great shame, and everyone in the community will know about it. So you'll never really be in trouble in Wadi Rum, because within a few minutes someone will pass by and it's their obligation to make sure that you're okay. So it's a great community that they have here, and everyone helps each other, and you would expect someone to do the same for you if you were in that situation one day, I suppose. So after puncturing our tyre, we've managed to replace it thanks to the people passing by. Another guy came to help out. This is mushroom rock, shaped in a unique way, but more impressive to me is, again, just the landscape in general. So we have now wrapped up our exploring in the 4x4 for the day. This is our spot for the night where we have parked the jeeps there. We will be sleeping on mattresses here. We'll have a fire, we'll have tea, we'll have dinner. The sun is setting over there, so I'm going to take a walk this way for a vantage point of it to check out the last rays of sunlight here in Wadi Rum. The sun has now gone down, and now some tea. Keep warm by the fire. Also this sweet, which looks like a date covered in sesame seeds. So this here is the setup. Some places to sleep here. We have our shelter by this rock. It's getting dark very quickly. The light disappearing. You can see the moon above. So I know that I spent last night in a sort of nomadic tent style room, which was very comfortable, but this is how Wadi Rum and the desert is supposed to be experienced, and I recommend doing this for the real feeling of being in the desert, sleeping on a mattress on the floor, looking up at the stars at night, feeling the cold, you know, being around a fire, feeling the warmth of it, eating the food and drinking the tea. It's all part of it. By the way, I'm doing this tour today with Bedouin guides. I'll leave their link in the video description, so if you want to do a repeat of what I'm doing today, then check them out. But there's only 3 of us, including myself, from a trip of about 12, doing the night in the desert beside the rock. Here we have the kofta.
Yeah.
Potatoes, that's nice.
Made painstakingly, with a lot of effort, but much appreciated. Good morning. It is now light again, and I slept really well. Actually, no wind. It was far warmer than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be quite cold. But yeah, super quiet at night. You couldn't hear anything. Really peaceful to just look up at the stars. I did see some shooting stars at various points once the moon had disappeared around sort of 3, 4, 5 a.m. in the morning. But yeah, amazing experience to sleep out here. This dog has just shown up at our camp. Hello. Not sure if the Bedouins take care of it or if it's just living here in the wild. The bread cooked over the fire, just having a few bits and pieces, some jams and cheeses here in the morning with, as usual, the sweet Bedouin tea.
I hope you enjoy with us, like our
Very much,
function.
yeah.
Yes, this is very important for us.
I had such a great time,
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm impressed how skilled you are, and you're very skilled at many things, you know, whether it's driving through the desert with the sand or preparing all the food and all the skills that you need to survive. It's impressive. It's impressive.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
This is like our tradition, like before, like 10 years, like when I study, this job, I do this job until now, you know. Like our parents live in desert, like we call Bedouin woman. Yeah. And easy for us, like when you come tourist like with us, we like to see how tradition with us, you know. Like enjoy with us. This is very important.
Yeah. So we're about to head off in the 4x4 back to Wadi Rum village. This has been an amazing experience. The links are in the video description if you want to partake in something like this. And hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. And I'm heading back to Amman. I may sneak in one more video before the end of this Jordan trip and the end of 2021 and the end of my time in the Middle East, in Iraq and Jordan. Lots more coming next year, as I hope travel opens up a lot more, with plenty of countries to visit. I only managed to reach 4 this year: Mexico, Albania, and Iraq and Jordan. And I couldn't travel between January and April because of the first UK lockdown. So it's been a tough year video wise. Wadi Rum is an incredible place. Do check it out if you're in Jordan. It is a must, along with Petra. And I will see you on the next one.